beautiful day. It's about 50 degrees right now. It's supposed to get up to the mid 50s. Maybe the last day, last nice day this year. So I'm going to winterize my bee boxes, bee hives. I checked on them the other day. I had 8 going into the fall. 2 of them died. I have no idea why. All the honey, all the bees gone, but these are still doing well. Just getting done feeding the bees. There's some sugar water that they're just cleaning up, and then that'll be it for feeding this year. So I put the interest reducer on the bottom, so there's just one little tiny hole in the center there where the bees get in. And I've done this different ways in the past to winterize it. This is what I'm going to try this year. In the top of the bee hives, I put these cedar chips here. The bees are in the middle, kind of absorb the moisture and give it a little insulation on the top. I've wrapped them with tar paper, and then I'm just going to put 3 sides of this pink foam insulation just to give it a little more insulation. Last year I wrapped all 4 sides with the pink, and I didn't do the tar paper. This year I'm just doing the tar paper on the front. Hopefully in the winter, the sun on nice days hits that tar paper. The black gives it a little extra heat. So we're just going to winterize the rest of these 2 boxes, put the foam on there, and hopefully the bees do good. That's it. Just 3 sides, and hopefully the sun hits it and the bees make it through the winter. Keep them warmer. Hopefully they don't use as much energy and use up their honey stores. So in addition to wrapping it with tar paper, which I still have to do on this one, and putting the insulation like I did on those hives, I've built these boxes too that I'll set on top. Any windbreak, hopefully they keep the hives warmer. Like I said, I'm going to leave the south facing, which is these are south facing, exposed a little bit more with the tar paper, and hopefully they have heat on the warm days. So lost this hive here. This hive here is alive but has no queen. There's only probably a couple hundred bees in there. They're trying to make stores, but they're goners. I don't have the heart just to tear apart the hive right now and kill them. So, and then this hive over here has a super on it. So I had some uncapped honey when I harvested the honey this year, stuck it back on the hive, and then treated them for mites. And the super was on when I treated it with mites. So I really can't harvest that honey, so I'm going to do a little experiment and just keep that super on the top this year, just so they have some extra food. See if that hive makes it compared to the other ones. The downside of leaving that 3rd box on that skinny one, that super with the honey, is that it's just more area for those bees to try to keep warm during the winter. And so it's kind of a catch-22. More food or more space to keep warm. And if it's so cold, they sometimes won't even go up there to eat that honey. So I'll finish up here with these 2 boxes and call it a day. So there you have it. I got them ready. We'll put the boxes on. Those metal boxes over top eventually. Not needed now. These bees seem happy. This is the one with the super. There's some other ones. Hopefully we can get it through the winter. So you can start a beehive in the spring, but if you can get it through the winter and they can start to reproduce early on, you'll get way more honey out of it. You also can't seal these things up completely tight because they need ventilation going through to get rid of the moisture. A lot of times the moisture actually can kill the bees when it drips back down and freezes on them. And the other thing, people ask, well, why not move them inside? You could do that, but they need to stay below probably about 40 degrees. Otherwise, even 50 degrees, they fly around like this and you'd have a mess. A lot of people move them south for the winter. In Iowa, survival rate for a hive over the winter is about 50%. And there's a lot of factors: cold, starvation, pests. I talked to a friend the other day. He said that he had a skunk eat his bees. So the skunk will just go up and paw the front of the hive, and they'll come out that little entrance and they'll just start eating them. And he had it on camera, and it pretty much ate his whole hive of bees. So a lot of things against the bees, but they're amazing little creatures, and hopefully I can get them through the winter and get more honey this year.